Morning guys, Happy New Year. Today is January the 1st, 2018, which is a little bit weird to say. You can hear Layla playing in the background. We are up nice and early because of Layla, which is fine. We barely made it to midnight last night before going to bed. I'm quite sick if you can't hear it. I feel okay, but I just feel really bunged up, which isn't nice. But I just published the first pattern in the Wanderlust sock club. And they are the Restfärber socks. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a word that originates in Swedish and it represents the restless race of a traveller's heart before the journey begins. And I felt that that was a very fitting way to start the sock clubs and to for the name of the first pattern. Typical, just as I start recording, Layla starts crying. But we're getting ready now. I'm all dressed. Layla's grumpy. She's tired. It's almost her nap time. I know, honey, I know. I'm going to quickly try and tell you this before we have to go. Perry's just getting ready now. My family's all still asleep from last night. They must have gone home quite late. And yeah, we're getting ready to go out, do a little bit of shopping at the town locally to us. Layla's wearing her new shoes.
Yeah. Lift off! Oh, you look adorable. Yes, you do. Yeah.
And I actually managed to find some shoes for myself too. Kind of like a cross between a boot and trainers. So, perfect. You being a little mischief maker, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey guys, so it's a little bit later in the day. It's about 1:30 now. Layla's down for a nap and I'm upstairs going to try and get some work done. I'm thinking, I haven't actually cast on anything since I finished those socks last night, and I really want to get started on this shawl design idea that I have. I've worked out some of the initial maths for it and I've done some swatching, and I feel like I'm ready to crack on with it, and I really want to get it started. I think I previously shown you the little swatch, little sneak peek, and yeah, I really want to get cracking with it. I'm so excited to dig into this and get it started. And the first bit, once I get it cast on and set up, is really easy to do. I mean, all the bits are easy to do, but this first bit especially, there's no like crazy shaping or anything happening. It's just straight knitting for a little bit. There is a texture pattern, but it's pretty simple. And once you get into the flow, if you can read your knitting, it's quite easy to see where you are. So I'm going to get cracking with that. Try and work out just the initial numbers. I think I've already figured it out, but I just need to double check the maths before I cast on. And then what else? Yeah, I'm gonna get started with that. I do have yarn wound up ready to go for another pair of socks, but I haven't cast those on yet, so I may or may not cast those on as well. And then what else? We have friends coming around this evening, and so I don't have a whole lot of time. I think they're gonna come, I say this evening, this afternoon. They're coming late afternoon. And we're having an early dinner tonight, and then so we've only got a couple of hours, so I'm gonna crack on with that. Feeling a bit, I don't know, I kind of hope to have a little bit more time on this trip to do a little bit of work here and there, but it just hasn't worked out that way, and that's fine, mostly because Layla's been sick and needed a lot more attention than she necessarily usually does, and things have just been a little bit more hectic than I had hoped, but it's fine. We've had such a good trip, and obviously work isn't really all that important when we're on a family holiday. It's secondary, and it was more of a would have been nice to have had the time kind of thing rather than a necessity. And yeah, so while she naps, I'm gonna get on with some stuff. So yeah. And one last thing which I forgot to mention earlier, so today's 1st of January, and that means my Harry Potter club patterns are now also available for individual purchase. These are patterns that I designed for Lydia of O Loops Yarn for her Harry Potter knit along that she does every year, and they were exclusive to the Harry Potter Cal people who purchased the prefect kits until the end of 2017. So now it's January 1st, the patterns are out and available for individual purchase. There are the Herbology socks, the Hogwarts Express cowl, and the Amortentia hat. The socks and cowl are in fingering weight, and the hat is out of worsted weight or fingering held double, which is what I used for the pattern. And they're all available now on Ravelry. You should be able to find a link to my shop below this video on YouTube. And yeah, so obviously the first pattern for the sock club has come out today. I mentioned that earlier. So lots of exciting things happening this month. And so yeah, there's that. Alright, so it is almost 2 hours after I last checked in. I've finished sorting out the maths for at least the first part of this pattern and cast on. I am that much into it. I've done 1 pattern repeat, and according to my maths I need to do 10.5 repeats for this section, so we're about 10% through on that. So hopefully I'll be able to crack on with that over the next few days. Like I said, I do have yarn wound up for another pair of socks in there. It's actually a sock blank by Hip Wools. I think that was what it was called, Hip Wool. Sorry, my voice is really funny. Yeah, Hip Wool yarns. They sent me the sock blank a while ago to try out, and it's called Monet's Garden, and it was ice dyed, which I find is super fun technique. Not that I've ever tried it myself, but for what I've seen other people, and this is how it looks balled up. I decided to ball it up just because now it doesn't want to focus. Just because I felt that knitting on the go, and I'm going to be knitting these concurrently on 2 separate needles, that it would just be easier to manage if they were in balls rather than 2 like halves of a sock blank and stuff like that. So yeah, I just decided to ball it up. And yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of purples and pinks, there's blues and greens and some yellows in there. There's loads of different colours. And this will be another pair of gift socks for next Christmas. Like I said, I do start early every year. I kind of try to disperse my gift knitting throughout the year. So I'm gonna go and join my family. Layla's awake now, and go hang out with them for a bit.